How we doing, everyone? Come on. Give me a little hello that you're watching. I have a little educational teaching, some little tricks and techniques that I think are very, very valuable for today's dealers. I've been on the road lately talking to dealers about simplifying their websites. I've been talking about how to measure digital retailing, how to improve their Google ad spend. And there seems to be this common theme that dealers are really not aware of is how to measure if these CTA buttons are really working, if the forms are really working on their website to achieve their goal, to give them more sales opportunities. So if you're watching the live stream, just give me a little hands up, say hello. I want to show you some techniques that I absolutely believe every dealership's marketing manager or general manager should know is possible so that you can get the information you need to improve your website experience, to increase your sales opportunities. And of course, these are some of the things that I'll be teaching next month in the Palm Beach Automotive Analytics and Attribution Summit. And if you're going to the conference, come on, just give me a little thumbs up in the comments below. But what I want to do is share some slides with you that show you how to calculate form completion rate. Now, let me give you the context before I show you how to do it. Oh, and look, somebody's calling my fax machine. I think I should turn that off, right? Let's see. Shut down. There we go. Shut down the old fax machine. There we go. So some dealers right now have one button on their website, which is just unlock price. That's all because inventory is low. Others have showing MSRP, like Mercedes dealers. They can't show a lower price than MSRP. So it's like get your price or get today's best price. Some dealers have a combination of buttons, which is ask me a question, schedule a test drive, value my trade, get e-price, give us your best price. I mean, so the question is how do you know if these buttons are working or really frustrating consumers? And then second, each one of these buttons has a really significant impact on your BDC. And let me explain by that. When you only have one button on every vehicle detail page and it's unlock price, believe me, you will get a lot of leads, 2 or 3 times the amount of leads. But their closing ratio is the poorest of all lead sources. If you only have a form that unlocks price, those leads close very poorly, and people often put in fake email addresses or email addresses that they really don't use. So I want you to learn how to know what the form completion rate is for each button on your website. So if you have get e-price, schedule a test drive, value my trade, ask me a question, or some other combination, how do you do it? So I'm going to show you an example with 2 different website companies. Each website company will do it differently. So if you're watching live, like say, come on, write in the comments. Come on, Brian, I want to see it. I want to see how to do it. It's pretty easy. It wasn't so easy a few years ago, but thankfully about 4 years ago, I started this movement to get website providers to send events into Google Analytics. And some of those early pioneers of formless websites or the concept of conversational commerce have been a real plus. So let me recognize those companies as well. So let's go through the form completion rate series. If you're ready, say I'm ready. If you're ready, come on, say I'm ready. Let's go through these slides because it's really powerful on what we can do. Now, each website provider has a different framework, okay? And this framework is from Dealer Inspire. This was a dealer whose website was throwing events. Dealer Inspire is one of the more transparent website platforms. Some platforms don't send in events at all, when it's just a shame. But in all Dealer Inspire websites, they will use this interface event category and another category called dealer inspired lead submissions. These two areas are where you're going to look to calculate form completion rates. Okay. Under the interface, you're going to find out how many times the buttons were clicked. And then under the lead submissions, you will find out how many forms were actually completed. And that's why we call it form completion rate. Okay, simple. Now, dealer on has a different structure, okay? And let me just change that screen. There you go, so you can see that better. In order to calculate the form completion rate in dealer on websites, you have to look at the event category called VDP SRP buttons, which I love because that's surely more clear than interface. And then how many leads were actually submitted? That is 107. Now you can already see from this data that there was 509 clicks on a VDP or SRP button, and there was 107 leads. I don't know if anybody's happy with that data. Are you happy with? Would you be happy with that data or not? Let's determine how that's going to be. So let's look at some examples here. A Nissan store had a form completion rate of 31%. Okay, notice form starts 299 and lead form completions 31%. That means only 1/3 of the people who pressed the button actually completed the form. Let's look at a Honda store. This was using a digital retailing tool, 48% form completion rate. And there's some issues here, obviously, we have to talk about. Here's another Toyota store with a form completion rate of 70%. But listen, this store only had one button. It was unlock price, get the price. But the appointment rate on these leads was super low, meaning they were just sending their BDC, their sales team, so many ghost leads because, well, they wouldn't show a price on the website. Now, the cool thing you can do on Dealer Inspire is to drill down by the form type. So, for example, how many people click to schedule a test drive? Okay, 18 people finished the form. That's on another page. Of the 31 unique people who clicked on it, 58%. Now that seems relatively low, right? But this form didn't have a calendar, didn't have a time. This was like, hey, just tell us when you want to come in. That means, let's call it 60%. 40% of the people who was interested in scheduling a test drive didn't fill out the form. This should be, for all of us here, screaming that presenting forms to consumers isn't what they expect or want. It would be the same thing as having someone come into your dealership and walk in and say, hey, I'm interested about buying a car, and you hand them a clipboard with a piece of paper and says, hey, no problem, just sit in that chair, fill out your information, and somebody will come over and see you in the next hour or two. Of course, we don't do that because, excuse me, our showrooms are staffed. Why shouldn't we be staffing our virtual showrooms? But the good news is you can. This is an example from the Jeff Weiler Automotive Group. Kevin Fry will be doing a presentation at the Automotive Analytics and Attribution Summit talking about replacing lead forms with conversations. And this was a presentation slide. He did a digital dealer. It was a packed room, but the Weiler organization is moving away from forms on their website completely. Those three buttons start conversations instead of lead forms. And this is extremely important because whether the chat session includes pushing the person a form or just asking their information piece by piece, the outcome is amazing. This is data from the Weiler Automotive Group. So the normal website, like everyone who is pretty much watching this video, if you work at a dealership, your website forms, get e-price, schedule a test drive, evaluate my trade, those leads, and Weiler has a very, very strong lead handling process. We're setting appointments at 25%. When you have conversational commerce, when you serve people and have conversations when they're ready to do the work, look at that difference. Close to a 60% appointment rate. The same people, just twice the throughput, and here's more important, so much less labor. You don't have people chasing ghosts. You don't have people chasing ghosts. So the technology behind this is CarNow. There are 3 companies that have really perfected this: Dealer Inspire with Conversations, Gubagoo with their Live Play, and CarNow with their Convert Now buttons. Each one of the buttons on your website can be triggered a workflow, starting with AI and moving to a live person in your store during normal business hours. And so here's the thing. I want you to understand this, because I want to go back a few slides now. I want to go back a few slides because it's important that you see the data. How many people clicked the test drive submission form? 32. By the way, that was 32 over 2 months. Okay, 32. Can I get an amen? Would you, if as a dealer, could you handle 16 live chat sessions a month if it would double the number of test drives? Would you replace that get e-price unlock, which you have a horrible appointment rate, and double or triple if it meant having conversations with people while they're on their website? You see, if we go backwards, let's look at the Toyota store. There were 1,400, let's call it 1,500 over 2 months. That's 750 a month. Okay, 750. So what is that? 25 leads a day that they were getting. But I could tell this dealer, could you handle having 50 conversations a day, 50 or 75 conversations a day? See, this dealer thought that 1,000 leads was good, but here's the problem. It should have been over 2,000. It should have been over 2,000. But they only count what came through. They didn't count what was lost. You see, when you look at an FCR of 48%, when you look at a form completion rate of 31%, this Nissan dealer might be happy that they got 95 leads in 2 months, but that's sad because it should have been more like 250 leads. But they didn't think about replacing their forms with conversations like the Jeff Weiler Group and others. So we're going to understand that at Automotive Analytics and Attribution Summit, I'm going to show you how to calculate form completion rates for sure, right? I'm going to show you how to inspect your website to see if events are firing. I'm going to show you how to create the right goals for digital retailing and your advertising to optimize your campaigns. But then you're also going to be able to see the hard, fast data of how many customers you're missing each month, how many customer conversations, how many sales opportunities you're missing each month. It's no longer a theory that replacing your website buttons from forms to conversations works. It's no longer debatable. When you replace your call to action buttons with conversations, you will double your sales opportunities. You will double your appointments. and you're not spending any more marketing. In fact, the labor cost in your BDC or your sales department actually goes down. Because think about it. When you pop up a form, you're chasing people for 1 week, 2 week, 3 week. How much time, energy, and frustration is being invested in chasing when you could have served and talked to the person while they're on their website? Okay, so this is another reason why you need to get out to the Automotive Analytics and Attribution Summit. There's only a few tickets left. That's the good news. And I always tell people, look, our events sell out. I'll put the event in there. Hotel rooms for Saturday night are sold out. So if you want to come for my workshops on Sunday morning early, you're going to have to stay somewhere else. But Sunday, Monday, Tuesday nights are still open. I think there are less than 20 rooms left on our room block. So you need to act quickly. If you want to take your store to the next level, if you want to double your sales opportunities, lower your labor costs, create a better customer experience, you got to let the data show your store managers, your dealership owners, just how many people are being disappointed on your current form of your website. And thankfully, companies like Dealer Inspire, Dealer On, and others have tagged all the buttons and all the results. So you can calculate the form completion rate. So what are you waiting for? Get into analytics, see if you can figure out the form completion rate for all your forms and then individual forms. I think it's going to shock you. But here's what I will tell you. Whatever number of leads you're getting per month, you can double them with a better customer experience at a lower cost. Just come out to the AAAS Summit so you can understand tactically between my workshops, the speakers. Tim Cox is going to be talking about real-time retailing. Kevin Fry is going to be talking about what the steps he took to remove all the forms on their website. I'm going to be teaching on the analytics events, goals, and the new framework to truly optimize your Google spend. So what are you waiting for? Get someone out to the conference. If you spend money on Google, you got to be there. If you want to improve your website performance, you got to be there. If you're investing in digital retailing and trying to simplify your website, you got to be there. And if you're looking to lower your labor costs, you've got to be there. So thanks for your time. And please share this video with others so they know how to calculate their form completion rate on their websites. Have a great day, everyone.